Hello and welcome back to the Liberty for Philly podcast. I'm your host, Mitchell. That's Jared. And joining us today is Alec, Eskin, and Ben Hoyt, joining us again for the second time on the channel. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great, Mitchell. How are you?
I'm doing fine. So let's start it out with the topic of Alec's background. We're going to get into the Phillies. The Phillies right now are 7-6 at the time of recording. They are down 9-3 to the St. Louis Cardinals. Thoughts?
I have two thoughts on this game. One, I'm done with the Matt Moore experiments. I don't think he's gone past the fourth inning yet. And every time they've had to roll him out there, they have to use almost their entirety of their bullpen, and that can't last for your entire season. You need someone who can go in deeper into games. And my solution here would be bringing up Spencer Howard because he's a top prospect. He's a starter. I like what I've seen from him in spring training, and the one time he came out in a doubleheader against the Mets.
I would have to agree with you on that. I would totally agree with Spencer Howard, but it just seems like the organization has their eyes set on him as being that long-term relief guy for at least this season to get his arm built up back up. Right now, I would think we should call Cole Hamels, Rick Porcello, or Matt.
I'm going to stop you right there, Mitchell. Remember the rule: former players from a Boston team do not do well in Philadelphia. It only happens the other way around. Unless if your name is Papelbon, I think you know where I was going to go there. But unless if your name is Jonathan Papelbon, former Red Sox do not do well in Philadelphia.
Cole Hamels, it is then.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing for me. I feel very comfortable with the first three pitchers in the rotation. I'm
happy with Eflin.
I'm fine with them.
I'm happy with Eflin.
Yeah, Nola's great, Wheeler's great, and I feel very happy with Eflin. Now, you have to hope Chase Anderson does something, just do something. Mm-hmm. Matt Moore's not going to work out. That was a one-time experiment from Japan. He was a good lefty in his day. Get him out.
I think he's a good pitcher. He's really well. He's the ace for. Oh wait, this isn't 2015. Oh, I'm so sorry.
So I'm thinking if we're gonna give up on Matt Moore, he's either gonna move over to the bullpen and have Vince Velasquez move in, which I do not want. But you have to get his money off the books. He's due $4 million this year, and if you're wanting to go out and have add anybody at the deadline, you will have to trade one of Vince Velasquez, Chase Anderson, or Matt Moore to clear room.
Vince Velasquez is another good. Oh wait, we're not in 2016 either.
Yeah, we're not in the. Yeah, no.
All right. Speaking of starting pitchers, long-term starting pitchers potentially moving to the bullpen. Have you guys noticed that David Price already has 2 saves for the Dodgers?
It's funny. Oh, Didi hit a home run.
Oh really? I keep forgetting this game isn't in St. Louis. I keep thinking this game is in St. Louis. I always feel like
Didi. It says in play runs. Unless he got a triple, I believe it's a home run.
Unless if he got unless I feel like usually they start out with 4 games in St. Louis. They do have 4 games in St. Louis.
Double.
Yep. Double to center field. Reese Hoskins scores. 9-4.
I feel lied to. Typical Mitchell. Anyway.
I'm sorry. Game day is really slow.
Yeah.
All right. Now, can we replace Joyce and Quinn now in the lineup? All right.
Joyce isn't that bad.
All right. But I think. All right. Moving on. Let's go with the center field situation. Adam Hazley has left the team due to personal reasons. Very unexpected. I thought he was the better of the two. If anything, I would have expected Roman Quinn to leave the team for personal reasons. But in my opinion, Mickey Moniak, last night I was watching the Cardinals game. He was putting great bat the ball. He almost sent one out of the park if it weren't for the wind. And I think he's going to be a great prospect. However, at the deadline, if you're trying to trade for, say, a future center fielder for years to come, he might have to leave.
Yeah, go ahead, Alec.
I mean, I would prefer to let. I think he should be playing every day. Quite frankly, I'm not sure why Girardi continues to out Roman Quinn, even though he's batting 0.45, and you heard me correct on that.
I think he saw the second deck bombs from the random deck bombs. He's like, oh come on, he'll do it eventually.
He'll do it again.
Yeah, definitely he'll do it again.
I'm gonna use
I think it's the thing that he really wants to have a righty on the team. Roman Quinn's that switch hitter. If you call up a Duke Herrera, that's a lefty. Mickey Moniak is a lefty. If you have Brad Miller can't play center. Scott Kingery, if he comes up, he's a righty, correct? Scott Kingery?
Yeah, he's righty.
He's nowhere close to returning. He still has some things to figure out. I think he might be traded at the deadline. Kingery, maybe.
Perhaps.
But
well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think Girardi, where he's getting at, he loves the switch hitting situation, and Roman Quinn is lightning fast. However, in contrast to Girardi, you don't need speed if he doesn't get on base.
Exactly. He has a
Yes.
2
So
combined.
Well, if he doesn't, if you don't,
his
if you don't
OPS,
make contact, you don't need speed.
his
because you have to
OPS is 200-ish. And that's slugging and on base percentage combined. Our pitchers have a higher OPS than Roman Quinn. And even when he gets on base, he still doesn't know how to play. He doesn't have any baseball mentality. Did you see that game against the Mets? He stole third when he didn't need to, and he slid off the bag. Luis Guillorme literally fell on him in order to tag him out because he fell off the bag.
Wait. Has any National League pitcher hit a home run yet?
I don't believe so.
No.
I don't think there's been a pitcher home run so far this year.
we've had
Except
like
Shohei
3
Ohtani,
Well,
but that doesn't count,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
that would.
yeah, because he's meant to be a dual threat.
Yeah.
We've had 2 no hitters, and yet we have no pitcher home runs. Come on,
Oh
pitchers.
yeah.
Come on, pitchers, get better at the game. No,
No hitters,
stop
5
throwing
days.
no hitters.
Expected.
Home runs, yes.
Yeah, I don't know if this has happened ever, or like or definitely not in a long time, maybe even ever. But a pitcher hits a home run and it gets a no hitter or a perfect
Yeah.
game. That would be insane.
In Phillies news, Matt Joyce pops out to pitcher. What happened to Brad Miller? Why hasn't he even played at all?
No. Joe Girardi is starting to become Gabe Kapler. He's starting to roll out these lineups where there's certain players who are out there and like why are they out there instead of this guy? But then by vice versa too. Like some players like Brad Miller, like why isn't he out there instead of Matt Joyce? Matt Joyce is a non-roster invitee.
Yeah.
Brad Miller was an ad that this team knew they needed to get.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
At
go ahead,
least
Ben.
he's a good in-game manager for them
To
somewhat.
be fair to Gabe Kapler, I think he's been pretty successful so far this season. He's 8-5. That's not terrible at the San Francisco Giants.
And
I think we just suck.
what's it called? Gabe Kapler makes his return to Citizen Spank Park starting Monday.
Oh boy. Wait. I got another thing. Gabe Kapler always had good starts with us too. When we were even our first year, we didn't have a lot of talent.
That's true.
They still had a great April.
2019.
August and September.
Yeah, 2019. Well, I think
2018.
No, well, I'm looking at 2019 when we were
2018 and 19. I mean, they actually had more talent in 2019.
Well, 19, the season went out the window when Andrew McCutcheon tore his ACL. I think that's when the wheels came off and everything started stumbling. But last year, like in the year before, starting
That's what
pitching
happens when Gene doesn't run.
Like Nick Pivetta has been somewhat decent. I'm not going to say he's Cy Young or anything, even though I do have him on my fantasy team. But however, he hasn't been that horrible, especially in a hitterish friendly Fenway Park to the right side. It's somewhat hitter friendly for pull hitters. Like today, he didn't do too horribly. He only allowed 2 runs.
No, it's a very hitter friendly ballpark.
Yeah, he only allowed 2 runs today to the Chicago White Sox, which are the Urim and Mercedes. That is a really.
Oh, did you see the Red Sox uniforms from today? They are so puke worthy. Oh my!
Hashtag Boston strong, Jared.
Yes, they're Boston. Oh yeah, that happened a couple days ago.
But that's the why they have those jerseys, is to commemorate that.
Yellow, but why yellow?
Because that's the Boston Marathon. It's the Boston Marathon colors, blue and yellow.
That is true.
Yeah, that's the thing. And then some other teams are getting it, but I don't think the Phillies will get one. And Ronald Torres is coming in for Gene Segura.
Why is he coming in for Gene Segura?
Either Segura got hurt or he's just.
I was going to make a reading pre-quote earlier, but I forgot what it was. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I'm wearing a shirt today.
Yeah, this shirt is too good right now. Agreed.
I forgot what it was.
Yellow's puke worthy, Jared. If you're wearing a yellow T-shirt.
Oh well, no, like at least this looks good because that's like his thing. But it doesn't. So I remember what it was. Roman Quinn. I know why he's hitting like a picture because he's the most reliable bullpen arm.
And your most reliable outfielder is Vince Velasquez.
Exactly.
And Yadier Molina already got a double off of Vince Velasquez. Woo.
I still think that game's
Why is Yadier Molina just popping off today?
He's batting 348.
Oh, he always
348, 1.066 OPS and 4 home runs, 2 of them coming today.
Molina's always been good against the Phillies.
Yeah, that's true. But like, then again, if we were just talking about how Brad Miller isn't playing, Brad Miller plays second base. Why didn't he come in? If you need offense, Brad Miller's your guy, not Ronald Torres.
Remember when he was a Yankee and he sucked there? Well, he still sucks here. So
I mean, to be honest, he was better than Scott Kingery so far.
I mean, at this point, I think if George Wright keeps saying keeps rolling, making these kinds of moves, and this goes, and the Phillies aren't around 500, not doing so hot, going into August and September, you might see some people calling for his job.
By the way,
oh no, they called for his job last year.
I already know the new manager of the Philadelphia Phillies. Alec Eskin, take the media stage. We need Alec Eskin in the manager's spot right now.
Why
If Joe Girardi is let go, which I hopefully he isn't, because I like Joe. He's a good manager. I just don't think he has the correct pieces to work with. I think once he gets rid of Roman Quinn and he has the correct pieces to place them.
I remember when I liked Roman.
If he doesn't have the Roman Quinn card in his hand and has a proper 4 starter in his rotation, I think it will kick up. However, I mean, you got to think about it. Joe Dillon, Dusty Wathan, and Lundqvist are on COVID protocol, and those are all
Henrik Lundqvist is on COVID protocol.
No, he's a coach for the Phillies, but they're all in protocol.
Oh, Henrik Lundqvist is a coach for the Phillies?
Yeah, you didn't know that, Jared? But I just think the Phillies will turn around, but I think they just still need to make some changes. This team should do really well in this division. The Mets still haven't played 8 games so far this year.
All right.
But that's just.
So I got a little football thing for you guys. So you know how like everybody wants to join the Bucks because of the whole Brady situation and how like last year Antonio Brown would only like play for Tom Brady. Yeah, well, Marshawn Lynch apparently wanted to come out of retirement just to play for the Bucks.
Marshawn Lynch has come out of retirement like 4 times.
4 times.
Yeah, and he wanted to do it again to play for the Bucks.
When this off season or last?
No, last year.
Yeah, I may be exaggerating, but like Marshawn Lynch looks like he's been eating the Skittles that they've been calling him.
I mean, he's been in these Subway commercials. He's probably been in Subway for the past.
Oh, there's a whole Draymond Green versus Jason Tatum thing in the.
Yeah, and Vince Velasquez has walked Paul DeYoung. Now runners on first and second. Vince Velasquez in 2 innings of work has 49 pitches, 26 of them for strikes.
I was sitting behind home plate when he struck out 16 Padres.
Oh, yep, 2016.
Where did that go?
I just saw a retweet from Mac Leb, and it said that he just had 3 newspaper headlines of like after that game. Vince Velasquez, new Zach Greinke ? New ace for the Phils. Future looking bright for a young Phil star. And then it's just like when we look upon this day, we will either look back in glee or we will look back in hate. We have reached the hating point with Vince Velasquez.
He was lucky that he wasn't cut after the first time he was rolled out there against the Mets.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was a barn burner. David Hale, no.
Wait, what happened there?
David Hale's just bad. David Hale made the team instead of Jojo Romero. Jojo Romero has had a rough start coming back, but he had a great spring training.
Why isn't Alvarado the closer yet? This guy's throwing straight gas.
It's true. I mean, he still has to work on his command. I think he is a young star. I think in a couple years, yeah, he can definitely be that person once Hector finally moves on from the team. And once we get Sir Anthony back, we'll have another hard-hitting, throwing pitcher. But I honestly think it's just Hector Neris. We haven't had a use for him in the past couple games. I mean, last time we saw him, he blew the 10th inning against the Mets, but was that the 8th inning? Was it the doubleheader day?
That was the 10th. That was the 8th inning. Yeah.
The 8th inning when they blew that one.
Yeah, I mean, we were up by 1, and then we locked the bases loaded, and it just became awful. Moving on from the Phillies, let's talk about some Sixers. The Sixers have sole ownership of the first place in the Eastern Conference with the win over the Brooklyn Nets a couple nights ago. They now have that 1-game lead over the Nets because of the Nets beating the Charlotte Hornets 2 nights ago. I think the Embiid should be the MVP. However, many people think Jokic will be the MVP this year.
I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Jokic because he's from Europe, so.
It is Jokic.
It is
Jokic. Whenever you watch a Liberty for Philly podcast, always look for
Mitchell. Always make fun of Mitchell for his great pronunciations.
But anyways, who do you guys think is going to win MVP? But in my biased self, I think Joel Embiid will win MVP if he only misses 2
I mean, he
games.
literally is the Sixers, so he should. But
That's what it should be. It should be it should be a player who is most valuable, as the name, to a team. Joel
well, I mean,
Embiid.
Giannis is also it's the Milwaukee Giannis's. So I mean, that
Exactly. It's like Giannis and Embiid are always like players, and you should also look at, instead of their stats, because that's what usually it's by. You should look how they are with their teammates. Like say LeBron. Usually he's not a good teammate.
Los Angeles LeBrons.
The Los Angeles LeBron. I mean, it works.
I mean,
it's, the name would have changed.
Unibrows there too, so you really can't call them that.
Yeah, and they have AD. It's like, especially
that's what I just said, but okay.
In the Nets, they you can't say anybody from their teams will have one MVP because they sit them every night. None of them. They have only played, I think, 2 games with all their starters in a game. And that was even without Blake Griffin. And now they lost LaMarcus Aldridge due to a heart condition. He had to unfortunately retire after 15 years in the NBA, but still.
What, that happened? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't play against the Sixers due to an unknown
He didn't have like a cardiac arrest during a game.
No, he played the night before and he had an irregular heartbeat. And then he tried it out again, and this heartbeat went all wacky, and he had to go see a hospital.
Did he collapse and everything?
No, he didn't collapse, but he just had that weird heartbeat. And Vince Velasquez just walked the bases loaded with no outs. Anyways,
but Jay Bouwmeester last year had he had a cardiac arrest. Early in the game, they had to postpone it.
Yeah. So Ben, who do you think's gonna win MVP in the NBA this year?
So my heart says Embiid, but there's a point where the NBA is going to take a look at how many games each player played, and Joel did miss some time.
He did, yeah.
So that's definitely going to be a factor into it. I just think Joel Embiid he's improved so much this season from his past seasons. I think he's just been balling out. He is the Sixers, and I think he's their only chance at a title besides Brooklyn. I in the East. So I really think that Joel should be the MVP this year. Knowing the league and how stupidly they vote, they're going to vote.
True.
And how stupid they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Alec?
To be honest, I recently looked at a poll. It came out like a week ago, and believe it or not, Damian Lillard was leading in MVP polls.
Damian Lillard. No.
I honestly don't think he's bad. I don't think he's that bad, but I don't think he should be MVP.
He should not MVP. He's a great player, but I just don't think he's gonna be MVP.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Jokic too, but the reason he shouldn't be MVP is because, for one, his defense is atrocious. 2, you can visibly see he's not a great teammate when he's not in the huddle, he sits on the bench doing something else. And then 3, the Sixers are in first place in the East. The Nuggets are 4th. So another reason why Embiid should get the MVP is because he is the most efficient mid-range jumper in the NBA.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, it seems like every time he takes that shot, it goes in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one thing you can talk about is that he can shoot the 3. And going back to that Utah Jazz game, he drained that 3 to send it to overtime, and that's my favorite moment so far for this Sixers team this year, is that 3-pointer going in for Joel Embiid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jared, what do you think? I know you don't follow the basketball that much.
I got nothing.
He probably thinks T.J. McConnell's gonna win it MVP. He could win 6th Man of the Year. T.J. McConnell. He's doing really well in Indiana right now.
Yeah, I mean, I've always liked him. He's always been my favorite. I was kind of upset when he left because I'm like, he's a good, reliable backup point guard, and I think he's been really useful for the Pacers, and I've proven to be right.
Yeah, I thought we were possibly going to trade for him at the deadline. I know we probably would have not have, but I thought he would have been probably a great addition. I mean, our one great addition so far this year, George Hill, hasn't even touched the floor yet for the Sixers, and nobody knows what's going on with him.
I remember your reaction was so hilarious.
Oh yeah, you should have saw me when I saw
5 points level bad there.
That was the moment in which all optimism dies, literally. Because we were apparently on the 1 yard line for Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry's preparing to be traded
and
to
they
the
passed it at the
Sixers.
1 yard line.
And then breaking news: we got George Hill, and we traded away Tony Bradley. Like, especially with Dwight Howard just sitting out these past couple games, like.
I do think we retained Bradley's bird rights though. Which that means that any team that signs him, we can match that offer and we can get him back.
Yeah, I would prefer. We need to sign Tony Bradley after the season. I think it would be a great addition, and I think we would really need him, especially this off season for the Sixers. I think they should look towards probably getting a point guard, moving Ben to power forward, and keeping Steph Curry in there as a shooting guard, and maybe bringing back Danny Green as a bench piece. But however, he could go off and be a starter for, say, the Toronto Raptors again while they're rebuilding. But other than that, I think the Sixers have a pretty good chance of going deep in the playoffs this year. Moving on, let's go and talk about the Eagles. The Eagles draft is only a couple weeks. I don't know. It's 2 weeks away. Howie Roseman will take the chair at the 12th spot in the first round. So who do you guys want, or who do you guys think the Eagles will draft at 12 this year?
I think.
Oh, do you mind if I go out?
Got it. You can go.
I think if he drops, I think they'll take the O line from Northwestern, Slater.
Oh, Slater, yeah.
I think he'll drop pretty far. If there's a guy like Jalen Waddle that slips through, you should take him, or Devontae Smith, but that's not likely. My bet is on Slater from Northwestern.
So I was just listening to the radio today, and I heard some really great points about how we really like that cornerback is really once in a lifetime thing, that you get a cornerback that can cover every single wide receiver. Like, that's just 1 in a million chance that you get that one cornerback. But the thing is, what I heard was like the wide receiver class this year is so deep, and that you can get somebody great in the second round. And with that, I do believe, like, if he's there, I want Micah Parsons on this team. No questions asked. Micah Parsons can be a great linebacker. He can also be a great edge rusher. You can throw in between the two. But I just really think that Mr. Micah Parsons would be great for this team. However, I would say if Micah Parsons is taken, I would probably take J.C. Horn or Patrick Surtain.
That's who I was thinking. I was thinking Patrick Surtain. I'm sorry, not Patrick Surtain. J.C. Dorn. Based on the way he conducts himself, based on the way I've seen him play, I mean, this guy I feel is going to be a pretty good lockdown corner for whichever team drafts him. And then I agree with what Ben said earlier, is that it'd be a good idea to have someone who you can trade down with in case, again, if a good old lineman or a good cornerback or wide receiver like Certain and Waddle, if they drop down, get like another second round pick or maybe something more, and then because here's the thing. They're not going to be good anytime soon, so you might as well get as much draft capital as you can.
Yeah. Jared, what do you think?
I don't know. Their office is just awful. You never know with Howie. They'll probably end up drafting another quarterback in the first round. That's I don't know. I'm hoping they draft based off need, like maybe a cornerback. Like, they need to do something about the secondary, and they need to fix the cap situation.
Like, what was I gonna say? Oh, before I get to that, Mickey Moniak has officially came in the game for the Phillies. David Hale comes in to replace Vince Velasquez, and Mickey Moniak will take Matt Joyce's spot in right field, keeping Roman Quinn in the game.
Nah.
But I think I was gonna say that yes, this is what I was saying. I think we should not give up any of our first round picks just because we do have interest in Deshaun Watson. And I think if his legal cases do blow over, and I think that would decrease his price a little bit for the Texans, I think we should go after Deshaun Watson, because apparently in any trade that we do, we're going to be keeping Jalen Hurts. And I think Jalen Hurts, Deshaun Watson, say a quarterback that we pick up this year, 3 good young quarterbacks would be great for this team. And I think that would be a good addition for the Eagles.
I mean, why would you keep Hurts if you're gonna trade for Watson? I would think that the Texans in return would want Hurts. Because why would you trade a quarterback if you're not going to get another one in return, especially for someone as good as Watson is.
Yeah, I was surprised when I saw that, but apparently that was report from I believe Parks of forget where he works, but he sent out reports saying that apparently in any trade, apparently now we would get it to keep Jalen Hurts, which I don't understand why, but I would prefer that. But in Houston's case, I would probably want that quarterback back.
Yeah. Elliot Shore Parks, you're saying, correct?
Yes.
Oh, he works for a 94-1.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Now I remember. And David Hale gets us out of the inning. Bases loaded jam, no run score. Wow, that was. We got 3 outs with bases loaded, and I don't understand how, but okay. So, oh yeah, so ground double play, ground ball back to catch pitcher David Hale to catcher JT Realmuto to face first baseman Reese Hoskins.
Nice.
Nice. So that's your classic 1-1-3. Wait, no, that's your classic. Is that 1-2-3? 1-2-3.
Oh, 1-2-3.
It's classic 1-2-3 double play.
Yeah, I assume they turned around threw it to Gregorius at second.
Game day must be bugging
obviously.
out. Yeah. So now let's get into the special segment of today's podcast. Joining us is, remember, Ben and Alec. They both cover high school sports here in Pennsylvania. So we're going to hear today, we're going to make our way to early District 1 PA high school football predictions. Let's start out with who would be your top 3 seeds in District 1 this year. Let's start with Ben.
All right, so I feel comfortable with 2 teams right now in my top 3. I have Garnet Valley, who have been dominating for the past decade, and they look really good this year.
As always.
And then I have Coatesville. Coatesville looks like they're great. They had a lot of underclassmen last year, and they will be growing into upperclassmen, including their quarterback, who's really good. And they were almost District 1 champions last year. They lost in a very close game to Pennwood, 36-33. And with a lot of those Pennwood seniors graduating, I think Coatesville is going to remain the same. So those are my 2 contenders that I can name confidently. Now, I would like to put a team in Suburban 1 there. Obviously, Penridge and Souderton were really good. I feel like they're going to trail off a little bit into the mid of the standings. I'm going to go a safe guess with North Penn. They seem like a good team every year. They play tough competition, so they're going to have to win their non-conference games. But if they do that, North Penn would be a solid 3 choice.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I do believe Coatesville will be making that top 3. However, from what I saw last year, as you said, they had a lot of underdeveloped players. However, I do think they are going to do really well this year. However, I do think they stumble once or twice in the regular season this year. If it is a normal length football season this year, I think they might drop one to, say, one of the Downey Towns, maybe one of those out of conference they play, say at State College. I don't know who their big out of conference guy is going to be, but I do believe they will drop 1 or 2 in like a heartbreaking fashion. But I would put them in as probably my 3. I would probably say, I'm going to go off on a limb here. I'm actually going to say, let me find them. I do believe that Haverford, I'm going to say Haverford might be 2, in my opinion. Haverford, I've liked them for the past couple of years. They have been making it deep runs into the playoffs every year, and I think this year they probably put it together and placed second. And then
I would like to counter you for 1 minute. The year they made their playoff run, they did have a Division 1 athlete right there at Temple and lost all their big seniors. Haverford lost to Garnet Valley last year by 30 on the at home. So I don't think Haverford is going to be a top 3 seed. I think Garnet Valley is going to be the team from the Central League that's going to be in the top 3. I do expect Haverford to be, one of the mid teams. They could be the ones fighting for a home game. I could believe that.
So probably my predictions after you said that, because I totally forgot they lost a couple people, I'll probably put them at 3, Coatesville at 2, and then as you said, I'll probably have Garnet Valley at 1. Garnet Valley, is always a great team. I know you guys both cover them. They are a great team. They're a lot well developed. They always have constant talent flowing in. And I just was at a track meet today, and I talked with their coach. I talked with some of the players who throw field for them, and they sound like a great team that's up and coming. I do believe that they will probably clinch that #1 seed, in my opinion. Jared or Alec?
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I gotta agree with you in the first two teams, Garnet Valley, Coatesville. Garnet Valley, it was a shame last year. I thought that they were, if they were eligible to play in districts last year, I think they definitely had a great chance of winning. And then I also like to go back and say something about Hereford. I know, Mitchell, you mentioned you think Hereford could be the second team. I think they will be the second team in the Central League. However, they'll be kind of more of a distant second because I watched them play last year at Hereford. I'm a manager for Garnet Valley as well. And they just and Garnet Valley they just dominate on both sides of the ball, and in their own and at their house too.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously I think they'll be good, but they won't be. They're never going to be as good as they were when they reached the Final Four, the district semifinals the 2 years before.
Yeah, agreed.
Now,
yeah, sorry. Were you just talking? You can keep going if you were.
So as my third team, this is a tough choice. This isn't going to be easy. I agree with Ben in thinking that Pennwood and Cyrus are not going to be. They're not going to be nearly as good as they were this year. I don't see it.
I think it's going to be some random team, like it always is, like Central Bucks West that one year,
Yeah, exactly.
And then they fell off and then they fell flat on their faces the next year. So
yeah, exactly.
Those poor Saps had to play Ridley and Coatesville in the same postseason back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
That's torture.
Easily two of the worst, like the two worst fan base, like the two worst stuff.
So moving on, we're gonna move on to our.
Actually, I have one more question. Alec,
right.
What exactly do you do again? Like for football manager?
Yeah, I'm the football manager for Garnet Valley. I used to do both. I used to do both broadcasting and the managerial stuff, but now I fully moved into the managerial role full time. I still do broadcast and winter and spring sports, but I don't do fall. I don't.
So what Alec is saying is he's head water boy.
Are you? Ben,
Mickey Mionia got called out on a BS of a strike 3 call. It was a BS strike 3 call. It was off the plate.
That was that umpire Dan Bellino. He's been brutal all day for both teams.
Hey, I have a new thing that we should do for videos. How many times Mitchell cuts me off? And then the other thing is, Ben, what did you? So you're the lone broadcaster now?
For now, yeah. So we don't know who the main broadcaster is going to be. It could be me. It could be anyone.
I really want to doing well enough that we get our rear ends destroyed by you guys. And also, I have another thing that'll piss the two of you off, especially Ben.
That's
like 5 now.
Ben, I hope we West and Garnet Valley come together and play each other's because
Mitchell doesn't
this year. If they do, I honestly hope we get to call a game together. If you're alone, I would be happy to join you.
Yeah.
If Mitchell doesn't do this, can somebody keep a counter in the comment section of how many times Mitchell has cut me off? Okay, Ben.
Like this?
Okay. Yeah. So Mitchell, I don't know if you saw the schedule, but Garnet Valley and Coatesville have been not stupid Coatesville. Downtown West have been playing the past couple years. They couldn't play last year at the Mo, but we are your first game this year at Kottmeyer.
Oh yes. So hopefully I'm live streaming for that one. If not, you come over and I'll hop along. So hopefully you have marking calendars, everybody. August and October's around the corner. September is also around the corner.
Not really, but okay.
Should we do the first four in, first four out?
Yeah, let's do first four in.
I haven't done my top 3, but not that it really matters.
I'm gonna say, all right. So my first 4 would probably be the set number 2 team and probably Chestmont's, and I do believe it's going to be Downtown West this year. Downtown East lost a huge player in Bo Bryant this year, and
Stanley Bryant, buddy.
Stanley Bryant, thank you. I was thinking of his brother. Yeah, Stanley Bryant, and their quarterback position is a big question mark. Last year,
Stanley didn't play at all last year. I feel like
he got injured for a lot of it, and what's it called? Their quarterback position was kind of a question mark. Their wide receiver core is
mark. It wasn't kind of a question mark. That's a question mark.
Their wide receiver was really good. Their defense was outstanding for last year. However, I do believe they take a step back, and I do believe
Their
West.
secondary was awful. It was the front seven that was doing really well.
I do believe Downtown West will run away with second place, maybe even beat Coatesville for that, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Right.
That's not going to happen. They'll probably.
I honestly don't know how they did it. I don't know how they beat him in 2019.
West really needs to figure out. Last year they could have won so many games. Well, I mean, they only played 4 games, but they could have gotten more points on the board. But they lost Spencer Michalski, and they could not kick any field goals. And Will Howard, they could not kick field goals. They could not kick after.
Oh, that reminds me of our kicker the first year in 2019, first half of the year, is kicking his own lineman in the rear end, and then he went to making everything. So that was a.
Yeah, West is definitely close to something. I think they pull through this year, and I think if West does it, I think Coach Milano might retire at the end of this year.
Over optimism brought to you by Mitchell. Yeah,
Coach Milano might retire at the end of this year. There was rumors that he might step down as head coach of Downtown West after this season. However, I do believe that there's a possibility he might leave after this season.
2 seasons ago, there were rumors. I remember talking about that pregame while we were at Kottmeyer.
Yeah, there.
Oh, wow.
Did he retire as a teacher or something? And
he retired as a guidance, and he said that he was go as a coach until he felt he wanted to step down. And I think he just wants to have one more successful season, probably. Maybe see some players go through the ranks that he saw, and he just want to see them graduate.
Oh, I need to say my statement to anger Ben and Alec, especially Ben. Garnet Valley is to Coatesville like the Sixers are to the Celtics. They can't beat them when it matters.
Stop. Go away.
So for Downtown West,
so
Downtown West, there's a lot of great coaches on their staff. One in particular is my thrower coach, Coach Klein. He's the offensive line coach for Downtown West. I do believe he could be a possible candidate for Coach Milano's spot should he step down. But then again, you could have, say, Coach Backus step up from the freshman team, take his spot, or JV coach step up. But you just never know.
Coach, so does he teach you how to throw Among Us games?
Wow. So, and then other than that, I'll probably have my other 3. I would probably say Great Valley. Great Valley's.
Well, they're 5A.
Off and on, they're 5A.
Oh, they're 5A. Okay, so then that.
Yeah, so we're talking about Mitchell. I think.
I guess we play a lot of 5A teams then.
So I could say Avongrove's not good.
Avongrove's 6A, but I
think it's gonna be a Westchester school this year.
I think we should change the counter to everybody.
Westchester's also 5A, but what you're saying about Avongrove, I mean, if they have a good season like they did 2 years ago, I don't think that would be the worst guess. Weren't they were like one of the border teams. They were out, but they were on the border team.
I mean, the only game I remember seeing them play was them losing like 50 to Downtown West.
Am I thinking of someone else? I probably am thinking of someone
else. You're probably thinking of
Westchester East.
Yeah, you're probably thinking of Westchester East.
Well, Westchester East is. Oh yeah, they were 6A at one point. Never mind.
You know, Westchester East was like 6-4, whatever. They almost.
I would say I'm gonna have 2 teams from the Chestmont. I'm gonna have Henderson and West making it.
I don't think Henderson's I mean, if they are Chestmont, they're not 6A.
They're the other division of
Chestmont. All Westchester schools are 5A. Just to clear that.
They were 6A our freshman year though. They got bumped down not too long ago.
They didn't get bumped down. They just switched divisions, and then because they didn't want to play West and East.
Well, whatever.
Yeah,
we still play them anyway.
Yeah.
It's true. Well, let me go back to the drawing board on mine.
Do you want me to go just so you have some?
Yeah, let me think of some, Peakerman Valley. They're 6A, correct?
Oh yeah. That's actually a good pick.
I would say that would be my second one.
Perkiomen
Valley, buddy.
Wow. Other than that, North Penn 6A.
Yeah, but they're gonna be good. They're gonna be good.
I think North Penn, Peakerman Valley, West, and then my last one, I'm probably gonna. Norristown is not 6A, right?
Norristown is 6A.
I'll probably go with Norristown as my 4th.
Also, first 4 out. Change the Mitchell cutting off people counter to everybody, not just me.
Yeah, probably my first 4 out would probably be East. They're probably gonna miss it just because of West getting in. Probably they'll lose to West and they'll unfortunately be out.
East?
Downtown East. We'll miss. Neshami. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I think they'll miss the cut.
Around that.
And the first time.
I think they miss out. They're always a up and down team. However, I think this year we're gonna probably take that downturn. Kennett, I think will be another team that's out.
Aren't they 5?
Are they 5A? I can't remember. They're in that weird.
They're 5A.
They may be 5. They may be
If there's, I was about to say they'd be with us if they were 6A, but we don't play them.
Yeah, they're 5. Never mind.
Then
they're
instead of
Sheffield
that, I'll probably
United.
go Conestoga, probably.
No.
Oh, you don't
Aren't they
know.
also
Definitely
5A?
No, they get destroyed. No,
Wait,
they,
what division's Conestoga in?
Conestoga 6A, but they go like 1 and 8.
No. I mean, like, what conference? I mean, not division.
Our conference,
Central.
Central League.
Oh, they're
they're
in your
guys-
conference. Oh, I'm thinking of the
Yeah,
wrong
yeah,
team.
yeah.
I'm probably thinking of a Central Bucks team.
Isn't
I think,
Conestoga in
I
Montgomery?
think it's gonna be
County?
probably 1, maybe 2 of the Central Bucks teams. Probably Central Bucks West and probably Central Bucks South.
Well,
Oh, Berlin. Never mind. Okay, I'm an idiot.
Those are probably would be mine. Maybe those are probably I would have to go. That's my 4.
All right, so I'll take this. So I feel like Neshaminy, they're an interesting team. They are gonna have a game with Pennsbury that's going to be super important because one of those teams will be in, one of those teams will be out. And who do I think will win that game? It will be Neshaminy. Neshaminy will move on.
Wow.
Downingtown West, they are an interesting team. I have them going 7-3. I have them losing to East.
Oh, I'd immediately flip that right away.
yeah, me too.
East. I would say West.
I don't think I feel like Downingtown West lost too much. I think East will still be pretty good.
I mean, for West, if you just come
hold
in
on,
right here.
I'll
Okay.
Add another one, people in the
Yeah.
comment section.
So I believe both are losing to Coatesville, no doubt.
I agree with you on that.
I-
Yes.
I do think that East will surprise you this year, and they will also be 7-3, 8-2. I think West.
Who else would? Oh, right, State College.
However, do I think West will be in? The answer is yes, because of their schedule and the teams they play. Because
Who do they play this year?
Yeah.
they play Coatesville. I
Let me
mean,
look at their schedule.
they face teams that will get them points because they win their games. And I think solely because of the strength of their schedule and the chestnut, that Downingtown West will get in.
I think you guys will probably hang out where we usually do. Where we usually do like the middle of the like an 8, 9, 10 maybe.
I think you're about right. I think you're going to be fighting for a home game, Jared. So
But I would.
I'm talking about West.
I'm just say West. They're only
I think
possible.
East will
They
be like
didn't lose
12.
that much, in my opinion. I think the one probably area is how Wickersham will do at quarterback this year. Their halfbacks are really good. Mahmood's really good. Elijah Ford's really good. John Barry is also a really good receiver. There's so many great options for that team, and I think their offensive line is really good too. Shelton is a key loss. However, I honestly did not see anything special from him, to be honest. Even though he is committed to Penn State and did transfer to the IMG Academy, I do believe that he was not that great last year. He probably had a down year, but however, I do believe that West will probably, if I can find their schedule, I'm still trying to find it. Probably
amazing.
So
kidding.
either way, I think West.
Yeah, there we go. I found it. There it is.
Whatever it is, I think East and West will be a very close game. I think you'll be surprised, and whoever wins that game will be fighting for a home game. The loser in that game will be on the playoff cut.
Yeah, where's a
we're going to be in the playoffs.
Where's a Moss?
Even if we do win, we're going to be fighting for a home game because we're not beating State College.
Yeah, where's a Moss at? Amos. EMMAUS high school.
Oh, Emmaus.
Yes.
They're in Lehigh County. They're near Allentown.
Yeah, they're going to be playing tough games.
Yeah, then they play Great Valley, Haverford, number 3, Pikerman Valley, Pennwood, Westchester East, Kennet, Coatesville, Bishop Shanahan.
Is Emmaus even that good?
And Avongrove.
I don't know, but I like that Pennwood game. They could be sneakily tough.
I think their first loss of the year, I do think they're going to be Garnet Valley. I think that's going to be their one game.
That's not even a question.
They're not going to be Garnet Valley.
I think they're going to lose to Coatesville.
Hey, Ben, you said that 2 years ago, right? You know what happened? You know what happened when you said that 2 years ago?
This team is
I hope I'm able to live stream with you, Ben. It's going to be hilarious to see our both of reactions. The game just goes up and down.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I'll finish with my teams, but Downingtown West is not beating Garnet Valley. So I have them losing to them. I have them losing to Coatesville, and I have a flip game between Downingtown.
I keep forgetting them.
8-2, 7-3. They're in. Let's take a look at Ridley. Ridley's a tough team. I think if if they win the majority of their 6A games, to Haverford. But if they win their 5A games, I think Ridley could be a flip. I have them as in the moment.
Okay.
And I'm debating about putting in another suburban one team. I I don't see anything, but I think I'm gonna go with Penridge on this one. I think they'll be on the cut as well. Because I think they lost so much from their senior class. They looked like they were a one-timer. I think they'll still be in because they're usually on the playoff cut, but I think Penridge will be fighting for a spot as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those are my first four in. I think for the first four out, I have Pennsbury losing their game. That for sure, I have one of their first four out. I don't know what team to put because it could be
Plymouth Whitemarsh, perhaps.
Plymouth Whitemarsh moved down. I thought to 5A. They spent a year in 6A and they moved down, I believe. It could be a team like Norristown. I think they could be the first one out.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, I saw. I mean, yesterday. I mean, they looked really good, albeit against a team that couldn't win a game this year.
Right.
But yeah, but they're definitely a decent team, and they'll get close. I agree with you on that.
Is Pennwood 6A now, or have they remained 5A?
They're 6A, I believe.
Pennwood, I believe, are one of the teams that is going to be fighting for a spot. And if Pennwood loses some silly games, I have them as out.
Yeah, I saw them actually twice this year. They look good against Chichester, and then they didn't look so hot against Chester.
Well, Chester's great. I think they're building their program up. So I have Pennwood as out in the moment. You could have two. You know what? I'll put two more teams. I'll say Harry S. Truman because they're usually fighting for a spot, and I'll also put Owen J. Roberts.
Another one.
What's that say, Jared?
Another Boheim's
the younger Boeheim. Jimmy Boeheim is transferring to Syracuse.
Yeah.
From Cornell.
So
if you want to hear something that's funny, the Mets are losing and DeGrom has 12 strikeouts.
Oh yeah, so I got Harry S. Truman and I also got Owen J. Roberts.
I used to think it was O and J for some reason.
No, it's a name, Jared.
Yes, I'm aware.
Yeah, Alec, do you have yours?
Yeah, here's my first four, and I'm gonna go with first off OJR. I liked what I saw from them 2 years ago. Again,
that was 2 years ago.
Again, that was 2 years ago. They're a suburban one team. They're usually at least decent. So I will. I have them again. I have them losing to like some of the Chamonix and Pennsbury. But after that, I feel like they can definitely do some damage, and I can see them definitely being one of those first four in. My next team is I'm going to actually go with Pennsbury because they were able to make the playoffs they were able to get the 13 seed with a 5-5 record.
Yeah, but that's including their senior class, Alec. They weren't that good to begin with. I think they're going to be fighting, like I said, that one game against Neshaminy will be crucial because they're going to have around like a 5-5, 6-4. And depending on the strength of their schedule, I just think Neshaminy's better, Alec.
Yeah, I mean that could very well be, but personally right now, I think that Pennsbury, they're again a 5-5 record gate. If that can get you a 13 seed, I think they could definitely get in. I have them going 6-4. Yeah, actually, I think they go 7-3 this year, but then again we'll see. My next team I have is I'm actually gonna go with Central Bucks East here.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. I mean they're again another suburban one team, not bad. They're not like North Penn, CB West, and the likes of them, but they'll go like 6-4.
CB West was awful last year. I just want to say that.
They were.
Yeah, CB West was terrible, but I think you're going to be adjusting to a full season now where they'll actually have some, sophomores and juniors, seniors that will actually grow. They'll be better this year. They could actually be one of the cutoff teams, in my opinion. But CB East is a very fair opinion, and you know what? I'm going to swap Harry S. Truman for CB East. You converted me on that one, Alec.
Yeah. And both Harry S. Truman and Trester were supposed to play for the United States Championship today, but unfortunately that game got postponed. They might not. They may or may not play. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, Harry S. Truman's also good, but I think CB's a little bit better. My third team I have is I agree with you. It will be Ridley. I think they'll go. I think they'll go 7-3 this year. They'll beat every team except I think they'll lose to Garnet Valley, they'll lose to Marple, and they'll lose to Haverford.
I agree.
And they'll get like 14, 15, 16, somewhere around there because their strength of schedule is nowhere near as good as someone like Pennsbury or Chamonix.
Right. I completely agree.
And then my last team again. This is again a tough spot here. Yeah. I mean this is definitely not easy, but I'm going to roll here with Pennwood.
I agree.
Yeah, and then I again really like what I saw from them in the spring season. Got a lot of talented players. They got a good running back in Jordan Jones. They got a very good offensive line, and they definitely were able to push the ball down the field.
And by the way, Alec, not to interrupt you, if Pennwood makes it, I have them out at the moment, but if Pennwood makes it, that is a dangerous team to face. They've been really good in the past. They know how they've been there before. I think they could be really dangerous heading to the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree with you. The past few years, you've seen normally Delva teams, if it's normally you either see no teams in the 6A playoffs or you see one, and Pennwood has been that one for the past 2 or 3 years, and then of course this year they didn't do that because they postponed their season. But yeah, again a very dangerous, very fast team, and I completely agree with you there. Now my first four outs. I'm gonna go with this again. This is a tough one.
Alec, do you have Neshaminy? Because if they face Pennsbury with the same record, do you think Neshaminy would be out, or would you think they would slip in as well?
I actually have them as my first out.
Okay.
Reason being, I think, is because the season before, 2 years ago, last year, I believe they were not that good. I believe, correct?
They were okay. They were. That's why I have them as fighting for a spot. I think they're just okay.
Yeah, and then with a full season, I don't have a lot of confidence in that they're gonna be that good consistently. I have them like going 4-6, 5-5, losing to Pennsbury, and then I think they'll be the first one out there. And then my second spot, and then my second out, man. There's a lot of really good teams, and actually, I'm actually gonna look up here, District 1 rankings here because I just want to see a list of teams in 6A. The next one I have out is Central Bucks South.
Okay.
They're an okay team. I think they're one of the average to just below average Suburban 1 teams, and I think they can beat some of the lower level like 5A Suburban 1 teams, but I can't see them being like Pennsbury, North Penn, and Chamonix, those guys. And then my third out I have is again I'm going to agree with you on this. I have Norristown. They've got a lot of athleticism on their team, but this year I don't think they're able to put it together. Again, a lot of talent on their team, still fairly young. But again, I think they'll improve, but I don't think they'll improve to the point where they will get into the District 1 playoffs.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that, Jared.
And then
I'm definitely not the expert on this, so I got nothing. I mean, like I only know like a little bit about like our 2 leagues, but I haven't really been paying much attention to the leagues like up north of here. So, I mean, like there's probably going to be some team I've never heard of that just comes out of nowhere, like it usually does. So we'll find out. And plus, it's too early on anyway, so we'll find out, won't we?
Jared, you made a good point where it just depends on what type of talent you have on your team and if you really can rely on your senior leadership. Like Alec, tell me if I'm wrong. That's what really happened with Penridge last year. They just got a really good senior class and some underclassmen that can fill in some of these holes, and they really went far. But now that some of these seniors have graduated, teams will dip down. You get what I'm saying, Alec?
Yeah, I definitely get what you're saying. I mean, I remember like 4 years ago they had like an insanely good team too. They actually played the District 1 semis with Garnet Valley. They lost, and then the next 2 years they were not that good of a team. I think they made districts once and they missed it the other time. If I'm not mistaken there.
Well, that has been our way too early District 1 PA.
Oh, not to interrupt you,
Oh,
Mitchell.
well, we got
Not to interrupt you, but should we just pick a champion before we leave?
Yeah. Oh,
How
yeah,
does
that's
it feel?
right. Let's pick
How does
our.
it feel, Mitchell? How does it feel?
No, that was actually a good one because I forgot about that. Yeah, sure. I'll start. I would say my champion probably would have to be if we're going
St.
to
Joe's Prep, even though they're not in the district.
even though they're not in the district. If I had to pick a team from District 1 to win it, I would say Coatesville. And if I have to go probably outside the district, I'm going to go with the one team from Harrisburg. I'm not going to pick a Catholic League team. I'm going to go for that one team from
Dolphin?
Harrisburg. I'm probably going to play Central Dolphin. That would be my pick for this year.
So for the district championship, it's going to be a game that I'm dreading.
Coatesville, Garnet Valley.
Coatesville, Garnet Valley for the fourth consecutive time that we've been playing. We skipped it last year, but obviously, 3 straight losses
To Boston
isn't fun. No, I have to go.
Garnet Valley to Coatesville, like Philly to Boston.
Stop. I gotta go with Coatesville. They look really good.
There you go. There you go. You get it now. You finally get it.
My heart is breaking because I want to choose my heart and say that Garnet Valley has a really strong team, but so does Coatesville. They have a bunch of seniors, and
You're finally getting it now. I am so proud of you, Ben.
thanks, but it's going to be such a close game. It can go either way. It's all based on a coin flip, but I will say Coatesville will win. And by the way, I don't think Central Dolphin. I think that was a one-time thing. I think the state championship again will be St. Joe's Prep and Central York. Central York's quarterback is going to Penn State. He was a junior last year and committed to Penn State, and now he's a senior and probably got even better. And St. Joe's Prep, it's all going to depend on the game between St. Joe's Prep and Archbishop Wood because Wood moved up to 6A. It's going to be a Catholic League team, but I think St. Joe's Prep is so strong that they will win the title again.
This is really just who loses to St. Joe's Prep in the final.
It is.
It honestly is. Yes, it's. I've said for a while that they should not be in the PIAA.
No, it's unfair.
It's unfair. It's unfair because they get to recruit. I mean, you've got guys like DeAndre Swift, who's on the NFL team playing there.
It's completely unfair.
I should think if you recruit players, which is mostly Catholic League, they should play within themselves and have their own little.
I completely agree.
And then maybe at the end of the year, you have the state champion go up against the Catholic League champion, and you have like a Super Bowl. But like,
that's
it's not. You
But
have
it's
the
the NFL.
separate player, which is true high school football, where you don't recruit, and then you have obviously your powerhouses. You play them at the end. You have like the NFL and the AFL. You combine them at the end.
Well, here's the thing. I don't like the idea because I feel like the Catholic League team would win every year. That's just unfair. But what I do think what should happen is that the private schools should play within themselves, like the Malvern Preps, the Episcopal Academies, the Haverford schools, or if you're St. Joe's Prep and number 4 in the nation, play something like an Under Armour league because they sponsor all these stupid like non.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't.
Like play the IMG Academies, play the Matter Dies or the St. John Boscos. Like play within yourselves to give yourselves the game. You've only lost to IMG by 7 a couple of years ago. It's a game.
Yeah.
Floor is indeed made out of floor.
So who has? Yeah, wait, well, I guess we already did. So that has been our PA football. Alec, I was gonna say. I thought you said something.
PIAA there, buddy.
PIAA.
Yeah. I might be biased here, but I do think Garnet Valley will win the District 1 championship this year. I think not having Ricky Ortega for Coastal, who has constantly hurt Garnet Valley. The first 3 games the first 3 times they faced them, which there's a possibility I think there's a really good chance there's going to be a fourth.
Right, Alec, not to interrupt you here, but you know the Coatesville quarterback who's going to be a junior next year is the same Ricky Ortega type build.
I do understand that,
Said no
yes, but
that's wonderful, said no one outside of Coatesville.
The fact that he isn't Ricky Ortega, I think definitely is helps Garden Valley a lot here. It's just because who would you rather face? The guy who has never faced this team before, who they faced multiple times and knows how to
And
play
Ben claims he's 21.
Yeah, it's like the bench warmer scene. I am 12.
Yes, exactly. I mean, yeah. And anyways, this senior class this year, or the upcoming senior class, is going to be really good for Garnet Valley. A lot of really good players on the senior class, as well as our junior class too. We have quite a few good players there as well.
All right.
Yeah. So, who do you think's gonna win the Logan Paul fight?
No one cares. Get that trash out of here. Get that trash. Do not mention that name ever again in this podcast.
I hope that Eskin like absolutely decks him, and he's just like what goes right to sleep.
The only person with the last name Paul that is worth mentioning in this podcast is Chris Paul. Other than that, no.
That's fair.
Thank you. Get the Paul brothers out of here. Especially Jake.
Shake Pauler.
Mitchell, what did I just say?
Yeah. Wait, isn't Logan fighting Mayweather?
Ben, for the love of God.
I forget who he's fighting today.
No one cares. I will leave this Zoom right now.
Well, that has been our way too early PA high school football predictions. Thank you for listening to those. Now let's get into our closing arguments. Any last second topics you guys would like to discuss? Jared.
Someone in the comments better have the how many times Mitchell cut us off thing.
Well, who was supposed to put it in the comments, Jared? You should have done it yourself.
I mean, we have had 0 comments on it, all of these videos.
Yeah, well there's people viewing.
Then I'll make sure to have a comment on it next time. Actually, wait, I need to make a channel for that?
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to put that comment. You know what? Whenever that comes out, maybe on Monday, I'll probably add in that tally.
Yeah, you'll probably just do it during one of your classes again when you should be doing work.
What do you mean again? I've never done this before. I've never put in the comment of how many times I've.
Well, I mean, you watch YouTube all the time, so.
Yeah, look in the comments. No, he said there's 0 comments on all of them. I've never put in how many times he's cut me off.
No. I'm just saying in general. You just watch YouTube all the time.
Yeah, so do you.
That's true.
So does everyone.
I mean, honestly,
if you don't watch YouTube, you're lying. It's either you watch YouTube or you're lying.
I mean, they have to watch YouTube in order to watch this. So.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's funny. I want to pay attention in class and have some fun. Like that doesn't match up. Like watch YouTube, please. Be a normal kid.
True.
Nobody will like.
My last second comment for today would probably have to be that
I cut too many people off. That's in point of view of Mitchell, not me. I don't cut anybody off.
If I was the Phillies,
I'm sorry, what?
If I was the Phillies, I would sign a free agent starting pitcher, probably Cole Hamels, so you don't have to trade for one. You could still trade for, say, a Johnny Cueto at the deadline, maybe a Mad Bum if the Diamondbacks are literally giving him away from.
Is this 2012? I don't think so.
Yeah, but I think that they do trade for an outfielder, and one of my favorites would probably be Mitch Haniger or Joey Gallo. Joey Gallo obviously will be costing a lot more. Mitch Haniger is a cheap option. Mariners probably will let him walk so he can get on a contender. But I'm thinking that would still be great upgrades over Adam Hazley and Roman Quinn.
Yeah. Out of all of them, I would go with it. If I had the choice, I would go with Mitch Haniger in that case.
Yeah. I guess my last second comment is just I'm hoping for a season where we can actually play some Ivy League basketball and not be sad and miserable.
That's true.
And check out my podcast, Creating Madness on Unwrapped Sports. I have a new project coming out soon for Unwrapped Sports, so please check that out.
Yep, all that will be linked down. The Unwrapped Sports Network's Twitter handle will be linked in the description below. Make sure to check it out. Show Ben and Unwrapped Sports some love. And Jared, what is your final closing argument? Don't you have your trivia question for us today?
I got nothing this week.
All right, I'll do this.
Oh, trivia question. How many times did Mitchell cut us all off today?
Wow.
I'm going to say 7.
It's probably more than 7. I'm sorry.
Like 15?
I have a good one. Let me find it. What is today? April. What happens in April? Let's do
Tornadoes.
Oh, we can do this. What university's head football coach helped save the city of Tuscaloosa during, after, and before? Basically, he did save Tuscaloosa in
Saved the city of
every
Tuscaloosa
aspect.
from football boredom and helped clean with the cleanup and all of that after the super outbreak. That should
Yes.
not be hard at all, considering I just gave away the answer. Okay, it's Nick Saban. You guys don't have time to think.
Yay. Great job, everybody. No, but I guess our trivia question is, how many consecutive years did the Philadelphia Phillies win the NL East during their huge top of the world years from 2007 to
Five.
2000?
I said 5 because they weren't in 2013.
They did not make it 2013. They
Wait,
did
who?
not
What?
win it in 2012.
What was the question?
2011 was the last year they won the NL East. Was in 2011.
2011. Oh, the Phillies.
2011 was also the last year they had a record over 500. 2010 they won it. 2009 they won it. 2008 they won it. And 2007 they won it. They won it 5 years. If my math's correct. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 years, I think, is the correct answer.
Okay.
But anyways, thank you for tuning in for the Liberty for Philly podcast once again. This was Mitchell. That's Jared. And thank you once again to our special guests, Ben and Alec, for joining us. If you want to see them more often, make sure to hit the like button. We would like to have them more often. And we also like you guys to let us know how you guys felt about the episode. So let us know down in the comments. Don't make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, as we do have that new podcast every Sunday. See you guys next time.
See ya.